Alright, hello to all my guys, gals, and non-binary pals out there across the electrical ocean. This is Jazzman back with another match between Alakhami playing full faction Shattered Peaks and Silveraine playing full faction Underdepths. And it should be an interesting game here. We've got a Servile Brute for Silveraine here. I don't know about that one, but all right. We'll let him cook for now. We'll see what he's cooking up. And we've got Armored Fesh over here for Alakhami, as well as a couple Hyenids. And Alakhami has been playing sort of a bunch of everything. He's usually that guy who plays a bunch of everything, but he's sort of on the SP hype train right now, primarily due to the I don't want to call it overpowered, but yeah, it's basically SP meta is really good right now because of Echo Chamber, Bad Blood, and then you've got just the sheer efficiency of their bonus tacked on. And then, stuff like Armored Fesh or just, sits in the font and never dies. But it should be a good match. This map is sort of conducive to slower, more defensive games. Just because getting mid-font doesn't matter too much, and then you've got the shrines separated by this lava. We've got Servile Brute currently holding down mid-font with a Fire Ruby tacked on top of it. So if that Armored Fesh decides to contest, he'll be shot at by the Ruby, doing 15 damage. 15 damage is still pretty good. It's crazy how this relic was released way back in 2010 or 2008, 2009 era. When 15 damage on your champion was a huge amount of damage, and it's still a huge amount of damage even now. I mean, that's basically a spell every turn if you can get a hit on it. But that requires you to be in range of Fire Ruby, and of course, Fire Ruby does also hit relics, so you can just sort of eat the proc with a relic if you have to. But it looks like Alakhami will not be deterred by that 15 damage bop, and he will contest with the Armored Fesh. Armored Fesh is pretty tanky. He's got Calcify, he's got Regen, so he can hold out for at least a turn. While Silveraine has that Succubus hanging back along with the Imp Alchemist. I wonder if we'll see Imp Alchemist try to sneak a contest over here with his flying over the lava. But Silveraine actually taking the, in my opinion, correct upgrade, Contaminate over Rage Potion. I don't know, I feel like Contaminate is just so much better. I mean, it's more damage, over time, but you get the 3 immediately with Poison 1, and then, 2, and then 1 more. But you also don't have to use any AP to use it. It's just you get the dot, and that's it. Whereas Rage Potion, you actually have to use 1 AP to get 3 damage for a turn. So it's a little bit more efficient in terms of AP that way. But it looks like the Armored Fesh, after taking the shot from the Ruby, will take a couple hits here from Brute and then Succubus. I wonder if Silveraine will try and kill it. And he has a ton of damage on the board right now. He's got Brute with 19 damage, Berserk Attack. And then Succubus getting in for 10 plus the Aura, plus 3 damage over time. He's going to be a bit short with the Regen coming in clutch. But maybe maybe an Animosity or something will kill it. Then, Flame Fist will just, recontest with the Leap, and then maybe even stun on one of these champions. Actually uses a Sheil's Fireball, dealing more damage to himself than he does to the Fesh. But I guess he does get the kill in the Globe, so, it could be worth. The problem here now is that he's aligned his champions in a very disadvantageous way, and Alakhami will almost certainly do a little Flame Burst action. As long as... Okay, well, Succubus drinks an action potion and promptly avoids that. Hopefully gets out of aura range, too. There you go. So, alright. Letting that Fire Ruby act as a deterrent to the incoming Flame Fist. So, he did take a little bit of damage on his champions, but I'm feeling like Flame Fist at this point doesn't particularly want to contest here. Unless Alakhami can potentially swing a kill on something. Which he might. It looks like he is leaping in. Maybe we'll see an avalanche into the Fire Ruby. I don't know. Bad Blood also possible. Or he vertical pushes the Servile Brute. All right. Servile Brute looking a mite too scary for him. So he takes it out of the fight for a while. And Hyanid Head Shrinker backing up with the Rock Shaper coming in as well. Rock Shaper is still really good. He's got Calcify, he's got the Throne Totem, which I feel like, I don't know, when they designed it, when they released this rune, I thought, man, this is the most pushed piece of support ever. I mean, Chuck Mangled Totem, like, come on, you couldn't think of anything more creative than that. But I mean, he's got Throw Boulder. I feel like runes around when this guy was released were sort of, they were running on empty and just sort of trying to push out releases and get as much money as they can. But it's it does have its synergies with SP, of course. Chuck Mangled Totem has Punishing Aura, so anytime Silveraine will leave their champions with AP, they'll take a bit of loss of life. Pincushion coming in. Pincushion, always a good standby champion for underdepths. Just nomming on some arrows and whatever else range that Alakhami will try to throw at it. He actually has Enrage 1 and Damage Aura. That's probably the standard. I see that build most often. I personally prefer Resilient, but I know I'm a little bit strange in that regard. I haven't, you know, I've seen Underdepths played a lot lately, but I have not seen any Undertortoise, despite people claiming on Undertortoise's buff that he was going to be in crazy broken. But it turns out that people don't seem to think so after I guess they tested him out, but I haven't seen him. I mentioned Undertortoise only because the fact that I like Resilient on Pincushion just shows that I prefer my champions to be tanky rather than doing a bunch of damage. And Undertortoise is definitely one of my favorite new UD runes. But at the moment, Alakhami just sort of positioning around the Fire Ruby as much as possible. Potentially looking up for a stun or a Flame Burst there, and he does the Flame Burst, knocking that Succubus out of double tap range next turn, and then maybe the Head Shrinker will go in for a little Shrinky Dink on the Succubus there, reducing its stats, softening it up for next turn. He just does a normal attack, potentially finishing it with a Chuck. No, he's 1 AP short of that. Sag. Yeah, he'll have to burn a Bad Blood or something to kill it. Maybe an Echo Chamber as well, get his own relic in that font so that the Fire Ruby will shoot at it instead of the Flame Fist. I know Alakhami loves his Echo Chambers. He's been raging, well, not raging, he's been talking about them in the Discord recently. That's all. About how good they are, and I agree, Echo Chamber is crazy broken. So I'm sure he runs them in his deck somewhere. But he's currently thinking about what's the best way to do this. Okay, so he does the Bad Blood, doing a bit of global damage there to Silveraine's other champions. Of course, the Servile Brute will come back next turn and probably gather that globe. And Alakhami not able to capture that font due to the presence of the Fire Ruby. But unfortunately, Servile Brute, there he is, fallen back down to the earth there. Not really in the best position. It would have been better if he were like somewhere over here, so that he could have grabbed that globe and maybe got an attack onto the Flame Fist, but this way he kind of has to choose between getting an attack and getting the globe. But Imp Alchemist coming in, going to do a little mischief, I bet. Zapping some AP on that Rock Shaper, maybe? Or maybe we'll see about a setup kill on that Head Shrinker. Yeah, there we go. So there's the Action Potion. Action is coming, and double Berserk attack here, or maybe, well, he did a Contaminate, so he has to do one Berserk attack and then one normal attack if he wants to get the dot. So he does the War Banner up top for a little bit of extra damage. He's going to do one Berserk, and Hunter Meek, unfortunately, coming in here for the Head Shrinker, reducing that by a bit. So he does a double Berserk attack, not getting the dot. He's kind of out of range of Pincushion's aura as well. So maybe, I guess a Fire Blast could potentially come in and finish off that Head Shrinker. Fire Blast would do 12 plus 2, and then, no, he chooses to deploy the Fire Slinger instead. So Head Shrinker will live another day, and actually, because of the Charmed from attacking the Succubus, he'll be able to disengage for free. Lucky, lucky. And we've got Rock Shaper will be able to finish off that Servile with 2 hits, thanks to the Berserk attack reduced defense. And then Flame Fist, I guess Flame Fist will probably just maybe hit the Fire Ruby for a bit of damage. Doing 8, or maybe he'll grab the globe and save the Fire Ruby for next turn. Nope, he definitely wants to take out that ruby, but oh... Alakhami, come on, man. The fire ruby is immune fire, and Flame Fist has attack fire. So instead, he has to do an echo chamber to do that 10 damage, killing the brute with a hit from Rock Shaper, and then probably doing a boulder throw to secure the font. Alright, a bit of a misstep, but he still gets the font, and he's still in a pretty good position here. Echo Chamber going to act as his own deterrent after deploying Mika, the Fesh Caller. Mika, the Simp Herder, as you can clearly tell by the art. So there's the Mangled Totem coming down, warding off the saving of AP on Silveraine's champions. And what have we got here? Yeah, see, Imp Alchemist can't really contest now. I mean, he's not really a combat champion. He's only on 31 HP, but I don't know. Sometimes you just gotta do it, you know? Sometimes you just gotta man up and do it. I mean, you can survive for a turn. Echo Chamber is on cooldown 4, and Flame Fist can only get a normal attack. He can't get a stun, but that'll be 10, and then Chuck Boulder could potentially come in onto the Imp as well for another 10, and then basically any spell would finish off that Imp. And I think, I don't know, I mean, the Rock Shaper can hit the Imp regardless, so I'd probably send the Pincushion after the Head Shrinker. Because otherwise he's just going to get healed up by Mika. But saving some AP, as long as you're out of totem range, is always a good strategy. Maybe now he'll use the Fire Blast to take it out, now that the threat of the healing is on board. He does that, it'll be even champ numbers, 3-3, one injured champ versus one injured one on each side. I'd say it's worth to use a spell killing that, because I mean you don't want this thing hanging around, healing up and illuminating stuff. Always better to finish things off when you can. So Silveraine taking a bit of a minute to think about the rest of their turn. I feel like, man, I really want Alakhami to grab that globe. I don't know why. It's annoying me that no one's grabbed that globe yet. You never, I mean, it's sort of out of the way. Like, you don't really want to go this way to deal with the globe. Okay, so he does a Sheevul's Fireball, finishing it off. But yeah, you never really want to leave globes hanging around for no reason. That's how you get Nora stormed, don't you know? Of course, nobody actually plays that spell. Fire Slinger escalating into the late game will be safe from the Flame Fist, thanks to Fire Eater. Perhaps Alakhami will forget yet again about Immunity Fire champs. The Alchemist potentially going to die here. Crested Fesh going to be summoned to grab that globe. And I'm thinking maybe another Bad Blood will come down onto the Imp. Flame Fist can leap in for 1, throw Boulder for another 10. And then, yep, that'll be the end of the Imp. And I feel like after that, I mean, if Flame Fist doesn't die in return, then Alakhami will be well positioned to take over the rest of the game. Because he has 2 relics in the font, and I mean, Underdepths does have Demolish, but having to spend Nora on that rather than champions at this point will probably work against Silveraine. So he does do a Bad Blood, as expected, and then there's the Boulder Throw to finish. And blocking that Pincushion off, making him waste a bit more AP to get to the font, if he so chooses. But at this point, the Flame Burst is back up, so if Silveraine does contest here, he's going to get knocked back into this wall and out of the font, or he could potentially get stunned and just, you know, wait for the Fesh to come in. And Flame Fist will then get a double tap on the following turn, plus Aura will most likely spell the end of that Pincushion. But it seems Silveraine playing right into Alakhami's hands here. Also going to take a bit of damage from the Mangled Totem, thanks to Punishing Aura. Maybe we'll see a Demolish, or maybe we'll see a Price of Victory. Actually, Price of Victory could clinch this. He's got the Flame Strike if he moves up a little more. And then Price of Victory would allow Pincushion to get a hit. Plus the Aura damage would kill the Flame Fist. Yeah, that would be decent for Silveraine. I mean, at that point, Alakhami would only have the Rock Shaper. And Calcify is pretty good at keeping your champion alive for a while, but after that, I mean, he's only got the Fesh and a passive unit. So we'll see. We'll see if Silveraine decides to take the bait. I don't know. Every time I see someone make this kind of play against Alakhami, I feel like they're getting roped in, all according to keikaku, as they say. But we'll see. He did okay. So Silveraine instead decides to deploy Rip Demon. That'd probably be my choice as well. You want more bodies on the board against Shattered Peaks, not have their bonus work too hard against you. We got the Fesh coming in. Mika not quite in range of Soothing, so no threat of Pacified this turn. Seems like I feel like a Flame Burst is going to come in, or maybe a stun. Yeah, I'd probably do a stun, and then maybe disengage. Try to get away from that Fire Slinger. But the Flame Fist is sort of, yeah, the only champion Alakhami has going for him at the moment. So he needs to find a way to set up with it, and then maybe get the most out of its death. Maybe leap away and grab that Nora Globe. Yeah. But Rock Shaper can probably hold down the font. Maybe stall out for another Echo Chamber pop. I know Alakhami, so that's both of his bad bloods are down. I'm sure he runs another Echo Chamber. But at that point, I mean, you're just asking for Demolish, right? Like 3 relics is more than enough to justify a Demolish. Pincushion getting angry after getting attacked. 17 damage. Pretty good. And then there's an Avalanche knocking these champions into each other. It's not quite enough. Pincushion will be left at 1. Oh yeah, but he's still in Mangle Totem range. I thought he got knocked out of it. So yeah, that Avalanche will clinch the kill for Alakhami. Oh yeah, he also has an aura down there. I forgot about that. So Pincushion very, very dead here. And with the way his Rock Shaper is positioned, that Fire Slinger will not be able to get into the font, barring any removal of Silveraine's own. He might, if he is feeling really ballsy, he might do a Banish on that Rock Shaper. And then get an auto attack kill from Fire Slinger onto the Flame Fist. So like if he banishes the Rock Shaper here, grabs this globe, and then walks into the font. I mean, it's a play. I don't know if it's the best play. I mean, he wouldn't take the font because of the Echo Chamber, and then Alakhami would be sitting on a ton of Nora, and it'd just be a mess. Flame Fist is going to die to Chard anyway, but at least that way you'd maybe secure the globe. But Rip Demon coming in. Still pretty intimidating, even after he lost Surge. He can pounce, he can counterattack for plus damage shield, so he's really resistant or deterrent to melee attacks. But then, and then he has pounce, like if you want to get in a ranged unit's face, you can just pounce on them and then Nova, and then go to town from there. It seems like Silveraine might drop a relic to contest that font. Could be. Alakhami only used an Avalanche last turn, so he will have the Nora to deploy at that font if he continues to possess it. Maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll see some kind of maybe another Fire Ruby. Banner is already down. Okay, so there's a Grief Bearer's Fountain going down. Not too bad. A little bit of blood ballage, restricting the movement of that Rock Shaper somewhat, and allowing Fire Slinger to heal up from these blood balls, keeping him in the fight, keeping that escalation going. So after Flame Fist dies, he moves the Rip Demon up, by the way, just to sort of get in the Fesh's way, maybe force a few counter attacks and take the Fesh down on his own. But I feel like Alakhami would. There's no way Alakhami would play into that. I mean, it would have been better to maybe save a bit of AP rather than hang back. I mean, he wants to keep the Fesh away from Fire Slinger, but I mean, there's no way to do that, right? Fesh is going to get to Fire Slinger whether he wants to or not, unless Fesh decides to kill the Fountain instead. And actually, he does a second Echo Chamber, and Echo Chamber does hit relics, by the way, so this Fountain will die to that. And then the Fesh goes in to block that Fire Slinger even further from getting in the font, except the Fire Slinger is now just dead, so he couldn't get into the font regardless. Alakhami using as much as possible to secure that mid-font here. And it seems like Silveraine now completely blocked. There's basically no way he gets in. And he's really behind on the board too. I mean, Alakhami only used a 35 Nora echo chamber for that, and after collecting all 3 of these globes, he'll have more than enough Nora to deploy whatever he wants down at that bottom font. It's a real fight for that font down there, and even on a map where where mid font doesn't matter too much, at least positionally. But it seems like on this map, everyone always tries to capture this font. Like they just throw everything into that font. Maybe it's because they don't like turtle games. Maybe it's because they know their deck doesn't play well into scenarios where the mid font is gone. But Hate Leech being equipped on Feshcaller Mika, actually. That, I guess maybe he forgot about Unequipable on Rip Demon, but Hate Leech giving Mika Life Siphon, which is completely useless, but it does do a little bit of loss of life at the start of every turn. Yeah, I don't know about that one. Heal Mass 2 could just completely counteract that, couldn't it? I mean, it's still a lot less. It's going to take a long time for that Leech to suck Mika dry. And I don't mean in the nice way. So there's Hook Fiend coming down. And Hook Fiend was recently buffed in the Underdepths revisions patch. He's really nice now. I mean, I wouldn't call it a direct buff since he did lose a bit of efficiency in the cost department, but he got some really nice upgrades. He got Assault, which is my preferred choice, but he also had Widowmaker now. Widowmaker is something that was previously only on the equipment by the same name. But I've seen Phantom sing its praises a bit. I've seen Tiny use Hook Fiends a little, and they're really nice. They can grappling hook. They got some passive damage. So we've got, yeah, see, 2 deploys there from Alakhami, leveraging that Shattered Peaks bonus, and Rip Demon just completely getting massacred by the Kanan Slipped. Fuel Rage 3 times makes 1 attack, and then a Manic attack plus Aura allows him to finish the kill, and Alakhami taking the game there at the end. So nicely played by both, and we'll see you all in the next one.